Mailbag time. A lot of questions after signing day. What are you going to lead us off with?
All right, here we go. Of the players who signed today, who makes an immediate impact this next season?
And I think let's keep this discussion to just non-transfers, because transfers is like easy. Like I think we'd all be like MJ Sherman. Come
on, who is it then? There's not many, Sean.
Tristan Alvano for sure.
Okay, the kicker.
Yeah. And then
you say for sure. What would Timmy Bleak wrote if he was sitting on that couch over there? What would he say to that? What would he say?
Well, I think Alvano has got more leg talent, more ability, more athletic ability.
Okay.
I just think he's a better prospect.
That's interesting analysis. I mean, you're projecting Alvano to be the starting kicker.
I am.
Interesting.
I think he's got more than Timmy Bleak wrote. I've seen him live off the ground in Memorial Stadium on a late November night, kick the ball better than Nebraska kickers kick the ball in a long time.
So you're looking for opportunity. Could Cameron Lenhart get in there at edge?
Princewell?
Yeah, Princewell.
Or Riley Manpopple?
Yeah. Could they work their way into an edge discussion? You're looking at need, right?
Malachi Coleman.
Yeah,
Malachi Coleman.
That was going to be my pick.
Okay.
Just because of how every opportunity the staff raves about him. Not just Matt Rhule, but every defensive coaches talk about him. And not just his athletic ability, but how much they respect him as a person and what he's gone through and what he's overcome in his life. I think that he's got every opportunity, especially considering just how wide open that receiver room is to come in and maybe get some meaningful snaps.
What do you got next, Abby?
What grade would you give Matt Rhule on putting together his staff at the same time he was recruiting?
I'm
not doing that.
It's hard to put an actual letter grade, but he did a really good job. There was adversity in the middle of all this. You think about they had some guys they had talked to, like Jake Peets, and that kind of fell through. I would love to know kind of how the Bob Wager piece came in together, because did it just happen when they were recruiting Ishmael Smith-Flores, or was Bob Wager always in play, or did he only become in play after the Peets thing fell through?
Hard to know. The only reason, guys, I'd say I don't want to grade it, Abby, is because I don't want to grade. I prefer not to grade a staff of assistants. That hasn't coached a single game. And I'd almost prefer not to wait. I'd almost prefer to wait 2 years. You can't really in this world wait.
Like the Tony White hire. It's either going to be a home run or whoa. Because
but you can't judge it after a year.
When Bob Diaco first came in, we're like, look at this handsome guy from Notre Dame. And
we gushed all over him. Yeah, the media corps.
His Notre Dame defense in the title game was one of the best in the country. So at least there was something tangible with that. And, he definitely had the show element about him. But, for as far as grading the staff, he got a lot of guys that he knew. It's a lot of his old former players, former coaches, fellow staffs, guys that worked with him before. So there's a lot of familiarity there. But, there are some outliers. He never met Tony White.
That sweater.
He never coached with Tony White. So, he went out of his box with a guy like that. Yeah. And, he took some risks on some guys. Garrett McGuire, young guy, cutting his teeth in the Big Ten. Is he going to flame out, or is he going to be the next Lincoln Riley? Who knows?
How do you grade it
it's
now?
It's way too early to know about a lot of those guys.
How do you grade Terrence Knight?
Yeah, and, Bob Wager was coaching high school last year. So, who knows?
Right. Ed Foley and Evan Cooper, though, those are core Matt Rhule guys. They've been with him. Those are foundational pieces.
Absolutely.
When you look at this makeup of the staff, and he's got the younger kind of soldiers that he feels are going to be great assistants, great recruiters. That's the guys he's brought in. So, then the Tony White hire, though, is going to be the interesting piece, how he blends with guys he's never worked with before.
Yeah, and Satterfield will have a big spotlight.
And Satterfield's a core guy too. I forgot.
Yeah. Marcus Satterfield, the offensive coordinator, is a core guy, and he'll have a bright spotlight on him.
We'll say in 2 months they've done a good job. So good grades through 2 months.
Yeah.
What do you got next, Abby?
Is Thomas Fidone finally healthy, and what is Nebraska's offense going to look like with him and Eric Gilbert?
Yeah, I think he is healthy. He was very close last year. You heard Sean Beckton, the former tight ends coach, say he was 95%, and this was in October or early November on their coaches' radio shows they did.
That's right, Sean.
You just wonder, if the situations were changed and Frost was still coaching and his job was on the line and it was really tight in October and November, would all of a sudden Fedoni found himself on the field, or were they going to stand pat on holding him out and playing it safe like they did? We'll never know the answer to that. But I think Thomas Fedoni, from talking to like Niles Paul, for example, when he watched Niles, he didn't know who Thomas Fedoni was. Niles Paul played for Nebraska, NFL tight end. He said, like, look, I didn't know who that guy was. He looked like George Kittle running around. So he's got the tools. Eric Gilbert, we know, has the tools. He's got to have to lose a little bit of weight. I know that. He's got to get himself in shape. That won't be hard. I think Eric Gilbert is as talented as a player on this roster. Like Fedoni, Gilbert, take everything out of it and just go off like their potential. Is there even a more potential of NFL players on the roster at one position than tight end?
No, I mean, look at where they were in their recruiting class. I mean, Gilbert was the highest rated recruit in any position in the modern era
for tight ends.
For tight ends,
highest ranked tight end. And Fedoni was the number one tight end the previous year.
Yeah, they got a world of potential there, and I just keep it at that right now.
But that's the thing; that's all it is right now. It's potential.
What do you got next?
If you can go to the Minnesota or Colorado game as a fan, which one would you go to?
Colorado, emphatically Colorado, emphatically.
Why?
Because it's a gorgeous scene. You got Prime. It's a hot rivalry. Former Big 8, Big 12, Big 6. No, maybe not Big 6, but Big 8, Big 12.
Be a national marquee game.
Yeah, it's not even close to me. I mean, going to Minnesota.
That's big noon. Well, big noon out there would be a 10 a.m. game.
Whatever the game.
So you wonder if
you remember how hot it was? I mean, when I say hot, I mean, remember how intense it was against Colorado last time around? Remember that intensity in that stadium? It's crazy.
Could it be? Do you guys think that could be an NBC like primetime game?
I mean, the Dion factor. I mean, obviously Nebraska's carries its own weight, but you add in Dion's first home game in Colorado. I mean, that's big time.
That's
right there.
good.
There's gonna be a lot of eyeballs on that game.
Now the CBS part of the deal, I don't think that's in play yet this year. I think the new multimedia rights, there's going to be new games and how it's all going to play out. But guys, I'm a big fan of this Minnesota game though too. Thursday night, Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, where it lands on the calendar is what makes it different.
Yeah. I mean, I've spent a lot of November and October weekends in Minneapolis. I'm looking forward to a late August weekend with the weather, the state fair.
Up there. Minnesota State Fair is as good of a state fair, like maybe next to Texas.
Have you been before, Robin?
Yes. I went to a concert up there. It's awesome.
Who'd you see?
Atmosphere.
Never heard of him.
He's a rapper.
Did you go to Genuine?
I did not go to Genuine.
That's a Terrence Knighton went to, right?
Yeah, Robin can sing their songs.
I can. I know Genuine.
Yeah, don't sing it.
That's
okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking about taking my family up to Minnesota.
Yeah, the fact that it's a Thursday before the holiday weekend, and you can make a 4-day trip out of it, like that. As a fan, like if you wanted to like extend your trip beyond just the football, then you maybe talk yourself into Minnesota. But from a football standpoint, and you're going to Boulder. I mean, it doesn't get much better than Boulder.
The only issue for Minnesota is if Robin goes with his family separate, I go with mine. We got to figure out how to get you up there, Sip.
Well, yeah.
You can ride with us.
Yeah.
You sit between my kids.
I think I can figure it out, Sean.
You're John Madden. You don't drive.
No, I don't like to. Nobody likes me.
You're the drive. John Madden of the media corps. You ain't driving to Minneapolis.
Nobody lets me drive. That's what it is. I don't mind driving.
All right. What do you got left, Abby? We got time for two more.
Two more. Okay. Of all the assistant coaches that have talked on the podium so far, who have you been most impressed with?
Ooh.
Rob, you go first.
Okay. My answer would be Evan Cooper.
Okay.
I just like kind of everything that he's about, just with how on point he is with Matt Rhule, and just how, I mean, you can see why he is Matt Rhule's right-hand man. Like, he seems like a guy that connects with Rhule differently than probably anybody else on this staff. And the excitement he has about recruiting and watching film and evaluating players and identifying diamonds in the rough, like, you could tell it's genuine. Like, that's something that he lives for. And so I think that I was just really impressed with his energy that he talked about, both with recruiting and then also with the coaching guys, and getting to know the guys he's inheriting in that room, and how excited he is to try and develop them. So I just kind of that youthful energy that he brings caught my attention.
And we may have the same one, but I really liked Marcus Satterfield.
No, we don't have the same one. Good.
I just liked his style, the way he carried himself up there, and Never thought I'd get to this point in my career where I'm like the same age as the veteran coaches on staff, but I am now. And I just was impressed with just his approach and how he went about things.
Yeah. And for me, it was Terrence Knighton. Yes. This week, I thought right away, he's a younger guy. He's 36 years old. He hasn't been in the business very, very long, but you guys notice he came in and commanded the room really well. You know why? Because he likes doing this. He likes the media element.
Mm-hmm.
He was telling Keith Mann that I think it was with the Broncos. Well, he was with Jacksonville and Denver. It could have been either one of those places that the media corps voted him like the most personable interview, the best interview. And he likes it. He likes doing. You can tell he said he liked doing it.
Mm-hmm.
He went so far as to say, I look forward. I couldn't believe my ears when he said this. He said, "I look forward to getting to know you guys."
We'll see.
Be careful what
see
you
what
wish
he's
for
saying
there.
in November.
But yeah, that was nice it was nice to hear him say that. I just thought I could understand why he would be a good recruiter. I mean, you can see him in any type of living room, any type of setting, being very comfortable. I was really struck by Terrence Knighton.
EJ Barthel, I forgot about him. I mean, he was really good too. I mean, he cried on the podium.
He was tearing up about his former players.
Yeah.
I think something to be said for that.
So yeah, lots there. All right, final question, Abby Barmore in the mailbag. What are we closing the show down with?
All right, so we've been talking a lot about Ed Foley going on the road, visiting a lot of towns and high schools in small town Nebraska. So what is your favorite restaurant in the state of Nebraska? And try to stay away from, Lincoln or Omaha.
Yeah, let's just eliminate Lincoln and Omaha.
Well, they went to Stella's in Bellevue. Phenomenal. I've taken Sip to Stella's, and I went to high school with Stephanie Franco, who they run the place. That's a phenomenal burger joint. They went there as a staff when they were in the Bellevue Papillion areas. But what do I got for my favorite place around the state? I go a lot of places, guys. So
I got one.
All right, what do you got, Sip?
Dresbach's in Grand Island, the steakhouse right there on the main drag. I used to enjoy going there. I haven't been to Grand Island lately, but
still open, still there?
I don't know that. Haven't been there. I got to think so. Anybody from Grand Island, please chime in.
Where's Scott? We need to ask our friend Scott Gorka.
But it was a steakhouse and it was excellent. It was very, very, just kind of grassrootsy steakhouse. Nice, but not. You could go in there with jeans and boots on, and you'd be fine.
I've been to some unique ones, like a steakhouse in Juniata, called the Plainsman. I went there for a lunch once. Spoke to and I'm going to get crap on the Red Sea Scrolls because they always laugh at the speeches I give. But I spoke to like a crop fertilizer.
You should get crap for that, by the way.
I spoke to a crop fertilizer group.
You did.
At a
I bet
lunch.
that was riveting.
They had prime rib, and it was just unbelievable prime rib. And
really,
I've literally when I'm on the road, I always can maybe go on a Monday. They're never open on Monday. It's like they're day off because I go to McCook every year on Monday
to speak,
and every year on a Monday,
right?
And I could work this out to go the Hastings way into McCook if I wanted to, and it's never open. So
no, it's not open on Mondays.
That's a universal restaurant. Then Alley Rose and Kearney and Cunningham's and Kearney.
Cunningham's. That's a good one.
Those are up there for me as really good. And Copper Mill and McCook, I'll put them in that category.
Okay, God, you get around more.
I'll throw the Pepper Mill out from Valentine.
Ooh,
yeah, I've been there a couple times, and just good. It's a solid thing, and they got a bar attached to it too, so it's a multi-purpose steak. Yeah, don't mess around.
Abby,
get the beef.
Oh, I knew you might call on me. I don't know if I have one. I go to a lot of very small towns, so maybe not one that you guys would know.
What town? Try me.
So you know who you're talking to?
My cousins went to high school in Wynot, so
Why
yep,
not?
there's about 130 people there. So they have a
bar.
They call it Devil's Den because that's their high school mascot. They're the Devils. It's pretty good. They have a fish fry there on Friday nights.
Okay. That sounds
pretty
good.
elite.
I'll give you another one. Wolf's Den in Stanton.
Okay.
If you're kind of in that Norfolk, Columbus triangle,
yeah,
it's a good place to veer off. They serve the regular hamburger is 12 ounces.
That's obscene.
and it's I'm not joking.
12 ounces.
It's ridiculous. And it's $6. Yeah, I'm not exaggerating. Like,
of course. Did you get it?
Oh yeah, like you just order a hamburger. It's like 12. It's like 12 ounces.
That's beautiful. That sounds very good.
There it is.
Oh yes.
Oh my
Sound
God!
like
Look at no. Is that it?
Is that the burger? Is that my Twitter?
I don't know.
How
No,
did you
yeah.
find that?
Yeah, that's the. Is that the Wolf's Den in Stanton?
Yep.
God, that looks fabulous.
That's like a triple. I mean, that's not the regular. And they do handmade. Those are the regular. They do handmade curly fries. Really good place.
That sounds great, Sean. That you could do your own
I'm getting
podcast
hungry.
on this.
I've been around.
Good question.